Next, we'll be looking at the prevalence of hypertension. And the prevalence of this hypertension, we'll be looking at the prevalence in the world and Nigeria. Okay, so the world at large and Nigeria. So when you're talking about the prevalence of any disease condition, you're trying to look at how this disease condition has affected the whole world. Okay, so you could see that you could see different regions. Okay, different regions with different colors, right? So the thing is, the regions with this color have the worst affectation. So at this side, worst affectations, followed by the regions with green. This one, then we have light blue. Okay, then lastly we have actually this dark blue. All right, so you could just pause and spend your time to look at the map, so you could see how the people are affected by this disease condition worldwide. Okay, so the World Health Organization has estimated the prevalence of hypertension as follows. So we have it at about adults in Nigeria have like a blood pressure that is more than 140/90 over the age of 18 years at 227.8. Okay, then about 28.1 and 27.5 in men and women respectively. Okay, against a background of what, 22% world prevalence. Okay, so but by comparison, in another report describing another age set of over 25, the prevalence rate was about what, 40% worldwide. So that means people above 25 years, they are affected by this high blood pressure, about 40% of them worldwide. And if you are talking about Africa, in particularly, about 46% of what, these middle age class people in Africa actually has this hypertension. So more specifically, in a recent meta-analysis of 27 studies involving 27,122 participants in Nigeria aged over 15, the pooled estimate of hypertension prevalence was about what, 28.9 in both sexes and 29.5 and 25% in men and women respectively. Okay, so this analysis also revealed a mean systemic blood pressure of what, 128.6 millimeter mercury. So meaning they had a blood pressure of about, that's okay, sorry, okay, this was systolic blood pressure, so that means they had a diastolic blood pressure of about what, 79.4 millimeter mercury. Okay, and a hypertension prevalence of 30.6% and 26.4% in urban and rural areas respectively. Okay, so they did these recent studies and these are the values. So from these values, it just give you an idea of how this disease condition has actually what, affected a lot of people in the world. Okay, so moving forward, we have it that the prevalence of hypertension in Nigeria is about what, 38.1%, right? So North Central is having about 20%, Northeast is about what, 27.5%, Northwest is about 26.8%, Southeast is about 52.8%, Southwest is about 41.1%, and South is about what, 44.6%. So less than 50% of people that have hypertension are aware that they actually have hypertension. Okay, and only 20% of those are on treatment. Okay, so estimated about 80 million cardiovascular deaths in 2020 was recorded, and millions of comorbidities from cardiovascular diseases were also recorded. Okay, so this just give you guys a rough idea of how this hypertension has affected the whole world, Africa and Nigeria to be specific.